Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host Boise, and this is Smackdown Live Review. How will Smackdown cope after their massive defeat to Raw at Survivor Series? Charlotte Flair addresses the WWE Universe about her actions against Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. Daniel Bryan has a big announcement for the WWE Universe as well. The New Day and the Bar go face to face at the first ever Thanksgiving feast fight. We'll have to find out what that is. And for the first time in 12 years, we get Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. With all that, let's get straight on with it. This is Smackdown Live Review. Hit the music. So before the show actually starts, we get the video package from what we got yesterday of Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair's fight at Survivor Series. Now, I've already spoke about this, and I've already said this packaging is terribly edited because it just shows Ronda Rousey being very, very dominant and Charlotte getting one spear, and that's about it. The match was a lot more even than that, and I really do not like when WWE try and alter the state of a fight just so they can make Ronda look like a bigger, big, strong, OP kind of character. And the reason for Charlotte snapping was because she knew she couldn't beat Ronda. That's not the case. It was very close. Charlotte does come out, cuts a fantastic promo. Now, this promo reminds me a bit of Becky Lynch's kind of style right now. Very aggressive. And I like where WWE are taking the women's division right now with Charlotte and Becky. Very aggressive, very, very dangerous. You can see Charlotte has snapped in a way. She talks about Ronda Rousey and she does not have any remorse for what she did to her, and I can't blame her. The crowd were cheering "Thank you, Charlotte," and she went, "You're welcome." Pretty much, Paige comes out. Paige has to fine Charlotte $100,000 for beating the crap out of 5 officials, which WWE guidelines do say if you touch an official, you will be fined or suspended. So Paige did the right thing there. I always find it to be a bit stupid when they do it, but it's part of the story and it just keeps the rules there for the show. The Iconics didn't interrupt all this, but Paige did say before that happened how she was happy that Charlotte destroyed Ronda Rousey. So kind of like a miss kind of thing when Paige fined her. It was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm glad you did it, but I've got to fine you because I am an official now. The Iconics came out, they cut a very, very short promo. It didn't take long, and Charlotte just went, right, which one of you two wants to be Ronda Rousey tonight? And we got straight into a match. I think this was a really good opening segment for Charlotte. She explained her situation. She said, look, Becky Lynch told me to beat Ronda Rousey like she would have, and I took that literally. My best friend asked me to do it, and I did it for Becky. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I think it's a good opening segment. The Iconics were very short in it. Paige's bits were good, but let's be honest, the explanation was fantastic from Charlotte. It's the evolution of Charlotte becoming a more aggressive character, which you cannot blame. The funny thing is, WWE are trying to turn Charlotte heel now, in the same way they're trying to turn Becky, and you can tell the crowd are going to start cheering for Charlotte because she's more aggressive. So it's funny how they try and turn these characters heel, and it just backfires every single time. So this moves us on to our first match of the night, and technically we had 2 matches in this. We had Charlotte start off with Billie Kay, and Charlotte's selling at the start was really good. Billie Kay and obviously Peyton Royce do work well as a double team. They really get in the minds of their opponents by, distracting referees while the other one beats down on the opponent, and that's what happened. But Charlotte's aggressiveness in this match was absolutely on point. You see the cracks start with Charlotte, and that's what you want to see in these type of matches. She beat Billie Kay in very short time with natural selection. The match ended. Then Charlotte gets the mic and goes, "Come on, Peyton, don't you want to be Ronda next?" And Peyton's like, no. Wait to a commercial break. Next thing we know, we had Peyton Royce versus Charlotte Flair. This was, again, very, very much Charlotte in control. Billie Kay was already knocked out. Billie tried to help out, but she's been beaten from Charlotte early, so that couldn't get much. She couldn't help too much for her friend. But But when it looked like Charlotte was going to pin Peyton Royce yet again, Billie Kay did get involved and it started to beat down. That really didn't last long. Charlotte destroyed both Iconics, absolutely laying waste, and very much aggressive kind of style, which we saw against Ronda Rousey, but a little bit more tame on Smackdown Live. I felt this was really good. I thought that both matches had its pros and cons. The Iconics really, they seem to like, they have got momentum and the crowd do like them, but it's just, they're so annoying, and I know that's their thing, but it just irritates me a lot when you watch them in the ring. Royce's selling was good, Peyton's selling was great, Charlotte's aggressiveness was fantastic, and the beatdown to both Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, showing this whole new aggressive Charlotte Flair, which I've already said was fantastic. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for all the matches, because it's one whole match in my opinion. So yeah, very, very impressive start to the show. Next up we had Miz TV. Now this was really good. I actually enjoyed this. The crowd were really behind the Miz. They were behind the Miz at Survivor Series. They were, obviously it's his hometown now. He lives in LA and he is classed as an adopted son of LA. So he even said it's good to be home. And then his first guest was Shane O'Mac. Shane obviously beaten and everything from the Survivor Series. So the Miz was doing Shane's entrance, that, you know, where he's just like doing the dance. I thought that was quite funny and everything. But it was just quite an interesting Miz TV. Miz praising Shane O'Mac. We saw the World Cup again. That's a bit of a downfall. Let's never mention Crown Jewel again, guys. Come on. But yes, The Miz had one question and one question only for Shane O'Mac, and that was, would you be his tag team partner? Shane looks very confused and like, what are you talking about, Miz? I'm barely on the show as it is. And it's like, I'm general manager, you know, I'm commissioner, you're a superstar. It can't work. And The Miz just seemed very disappointed, like, oh my god, you know, I was expecting a different reaction. He goes, I even talked to Paige and some local talent came out. And this was Shane and Miz's first match together. Shane wasn't in the match. Shane just stayed on the corner. He was still badly injured from Survivor Series, which I can't believe if you saw that bump he took against Braun Strowman. It looked vicious. He gets Miz is getting a bit too cocky. The local talent does a quick pin, and the local talent, my god, the local talent actually won. The Miz was apologetic. It's interesting. You definitely can see where this is leading up to. This is definitely leading up to The Miz versus Shane O'Mac. Probably at WrestleMania. It's most likely going to be there. But yeah, The Miz is acting like a babyface-ish kind of character right now, which is weird. It's so weird to see The Miz act like this. But yeah, entertaining from start to finish. The Miz getting being pinned by a local talent was hilarious, but the actual offering for the tag team was great. The Miz always good on the mic when he's on. It's just fantastic. And Shane O'Mac taking on the local talent, you think, oh my god, we could see a really good match. You know, see a dominant match here, but the local talent winning was a great shock. I'm going to give this segment a 7 out of 10. I think it was great from start to finish, and The Miz can play goofy and serious, which is always fun. Next up we had the first ever Thanksgiving feast fight. Now this was the New Day. They came out, they had a Thanksgiving table and they had a few round the ring as well, and the best thing about this, the whole bloody match was Xavier Woods. Now the whole New Day dressed up as pilgrims. Over here in the UK we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so it's kind of like, who cares about a Thanksgiving match? But yes, Xavier Woods' costume had 6-1, obviously referencing the tag team victory at the kickoff show. The Bar came out, they were not interested in this stupid type of fight, and then obviously the New Day took the mick out of them for losing to a team whose manager peed himself during the match. This obviously got the Bar frustrated. They accepted the match. The match was great. It was a nice type of match where Big Show was involved. not too much. He was in at the start, kind of moved away, thankfully by quite soon after he started. Big E was barely in it. That was a bit of a surprise. He did get the finishing move, but he was very much not that involved in it. It was more Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Gotta give them props again. Xavier Woods is really, really good at bumping. I've got to give him that. And let's be honest, Kofi Kingston's high flying moves are just out of this world. It doesn't seem like he even tries, and he can just pull off moves. Sheamus and Cesaro are always fun to watch. Then, obviously, the New Day did get the victory. Thankfully, not too much of the Thanksgiving stuff was used during the actual match. The turkeys were used as weapons a little bit near the end, which is fine. Sheamus did take the pinfall, and then afterwards they started throwing all the cranberry juice, I have no idea, mashed potatoes and peas and all sorts of gravy at Cesaro, because he tried to splatter the New Day, but they moved out of the way and they did it to him instead. It's a fun match kind of thing for like the season. It's very, very similar to the trick or treat fight, street fight, which we get every year for Halloween. So I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. It's a very, very silly type of match. You can see where it's going most of the time. The heels never really win these type of matches. So yeah, 5 out of 10. It's definitely designed for the little kids in the audience. Next up, we had Asuka, Naomi taking on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a tag team match. This for me was a good match. It really built up Asuka. She looked very dominant. Mandy Rose looked really good in this match, and Naomi was in it for a bit. And Naomi, again, very much like Kofi Kingston, she can pull off moves and you just go, she does it so effortlessly. She just can do it and you just go, damn, she's so good. She is really good with these high flying moves. But the most interesting thing was the Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose part of the match. Sonya tagged herself in. Mandy nearly knocked her out. You can see cracks forming between this partnership. They've been friends since they debuted back in Raw, and when they were part of Absolution, and then obviously they got moved over to SmackDown together and stayed, BFFs and partners through there. But it could be interesting if we see a Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville feud. These two, who we just expect to always be together, could be quite an interesting feud, especially if we have a Sonya Deville babyface turn. I think Sonya could play a very, very good babyface in the SmackDown Women's division, and I think Mandy could play a very, very dangerous heel if she's booked properly. And they are booking Mandy properly right now, and they're booking Sonya quite effectively as well. So it could be interesting to see. It was good to see Asuka get the win as well. The fans were really chomping for Asuka all night. When Naomi was in the corner getting beaten up by Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, the fans were wanting, we want Asuka, and that just shows you the fans want Asuka to be rebuilt properly. I think this is the start of it. I'm hoping it is. So for the tag team itself, Naomi and Asuka getting the win, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, but the storylines which could come from it could be very interesting indeed. Next up, we had a Daniel Bryan promo. Now this was interesting. This was a very different Daniel Bryan promo we've got at all. Since his turn against AJ Styles last week, this is the first time we've really got to see this Daniel Bryan. And Daniel was talking to himself in a third person. It was like he was possessed by a much more darker, vicious Daniel Bryan. And he talked about his injury. He talked about him having to go to all these clinics and all these hospitals to go into hyperbolic chambers to heal himself quicker. And then where it was all pitch black and he had time to think, and he went, if you fight for your dreams will fight for you. And that was the mantra he chose, and it got him back into a WWE ring, and that was great. It was the biggest pop. And then he realised the fans didn't truly care about him, because while he was away, everyone was cheering for AJ Styles. People were cheering for other superstars. The yes chants were just disappearing more and more. They were getting less and less. The only thing which really annoyed me about this promo, because it was a very, very good Daniel Bryan heel scary, crazy Daniel Bryan. Crazy Daniel Bryan is a positive right now. Very aggressive, very dangerous Daniel Bryan. Was him talking about kicking AJ Styles in the nuts, but that was very short. He talked about it very quickly and moved on from it. And then talked about he is going to face AJ Styles at TLC very quickly. And then he mentioned the Yes Movement, and he pretty much stated the Yes Movement is dead. He doesn't want the Yes Movement. He doesn't need it. That's not his. It's not his mantra anymore. The Yes chants won't work for him anymore. It's all about him fighting for his dreams. And fighting for his dreams has turned you heel, Daniel, which is cool. I like it. Then, after he finished his promo, he got the announcer to call him your new WWE champion, the new Daniel Bryan. And he stood on the announcement table, staring at Corey Graves, staring at Tom Phillips, staring at Byron Saxton, and just looked absolutely mental. I really enjoyed this. I think this is a really good heel Daniel Bryan promo. I cannot wait to see where this continues. Want to see if they're going to change his entrance, maybe keep the music but change the entrance videos, because they have the Yes stuff, and I think they might change that. But yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. If they can do what they've done with Tommaso Ciampa with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, that could be really impressive. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Great promo. Can't wait to see AJ vs Daniel Bryan at TLC. This moves us on to the main event of the night, and it was Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. Now, throughout the whole night, we had two backstage promos from both Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. Rey talking about how he saw what Randy did to Jeff Hardy and he won't allow that to happen. And Randy Orton talking about Rey Mysterio, especially given the hint about his mask, saying this mask is just polyester, it's not your tradition, and I'm going to destroy it. It's just, that's it. Gets to the main event, and the main event, it was really good. It was a really good main event. The only thing for me, I'm going to give the negative now, it was too damn short. I wish we had some more time for it. Rey Mysterio, bloody hell, he's great. It doesn't look like he ever loses a gear. Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton definitely have chemistry, and it's great to see this very vicious, aggressive Randy Orton. He worked the mask. He was working, trying to rip Rey Mysterio's mask off. Really was putting that on. That was the main focus. He talked about it before the match. Really worked on it during the match. Rey trying to get out. Really getting the momentum back on his side. The only thing is, and this, it's not Rey's fault, it's not Randy's fault, it's not Rey's fault, it's the cameraman's fault. Now, it's an accident, and you can tell it happened by mistake. Randy's pulling the mask up, and Rey's head just slightly slips through, and you can see Rey's face. That's a downfall. You know Rey doesn't really like that happening. They took that off the WWE.com stuff, so they removed all that references from Rey's actual face being shown. Randy Orton does one of the best RKOs I've ever seen. This is Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton at their best. Rey does his slide through to take out Randy. Randy RKOs him through it, pulls him in, RKOs him again. This is during the fit where you see Rey's face. That's the only thing. Then he gets a steel chair, gets Rey's face, pushes him into the corner, takes the mask. This is really smart from Rey and Randy Orton. The actual chair is hiding Rey's face, which is great, and Rey's mask is now in Randy's hand as a trophy. We've seen this type of storytelling before with people going after Rey Mysterio's mask. It's always been like a safe thing to do. It's going to build up this feud really well. I can't wait to see how it does go. Obviously, the medics came out, hid Rey's face with a towel soon after the match. But yes, very, very good. The only thing is the time scale. Very short match. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Can't wait to see how this goes, and I'm looking forward to seeing a Rey Mysterio Randy Orton rematch in the future. Maybe at TLC. Maybe we could get a chairs match. at TLC between these two, because I think they could steal it with that. And there you go, guys, that was SmackDown Live. Well, let's have a look at the pros and cons. So the cons really was Rey Mysterio's face accidentally getting shown. That's an accident, obviously, but it is still a con. The Iconics having a very short promo. No Becky Lynch. That was a minus for me. I know she's injured right now, but it would have been nice if we got like a promo or something from her. That would have really sold what's happened at Survivor Series. And the fight, or the Thanksgiving feast fight, wasn't my cup of tea. It just felt very, very childish. But the pros were great. The Randy Orton Rey Mysterio match, apart from being short, was really good. Daniel Bryan's promo, brilliant. Charlotte Flair's destruction of the Iconics and her promo beforehand, brilliant. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville maybe splitting up, and maybe we could see a Sonya Deville babyface turn. We'll have to wait and see. That could be a positive right there. And maybe seeing the rebuild of Asuka. She's the last survivor of Team SmackDown. She had a victory this week. It looks like they're starting to give her some more momentum on the show. So for me, I'm going to give this week's episode of SmackDown Live a 7 out of 10. It was entertaining. There wasn't too many bad bits, and just worth checking out. But what was your favourite bit of SmackDown Live this week, guys? Leave it in the comments below. And if you do like our videos, please like, subscribe, and press the bell to keep notified. Ding! And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do it at SmackTalkYouTube. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.